Oh my God, Chase, you see how far that driver just went?
Yeah. 365, 365 and 366 a rollout.
Holy cow. What's up, guys? I'm here today to tell you why you still suck at golf. So there's a lot of hype around being the long dong schlong, being the longest hitter in the group. But I can tell you, that's not making you better. There's a lot of advertisements out there claiming 15, 20 more yards, whether it be lesson programs, mainly new technology, up and coming technology, and companies are just using it as a selling point at this point. One of the other biggest problems we see is that in our training to improve, it's the most rewarding. You know, it's the longest club in our bag, it goes the furthest, it's the funnest to watch, and really it's just not, it's not part of the game that we need to be working on. What we need to be working on, for starters, we're going to start from around the green and work our way back. So this drive is not the key focus on today. Chase, will you move me to 75 yards out? So I'm not going to cover putting in here because we're in a simulator. It does not a whole lot of good to sit here and tell you how you need to work on your putting. But putting, for those of you that have actually worked on your putting and you have sat there and putted and putted and putted for hours and hours, it feels like your back's about to explode. You're probably doing it right. For those of you that haven't had that feeling before, you probably should go try to feel it. It's painful, but it's rewarding because you know you put in the time, so on and so forth. So the part I'm going to skip to is wedges. Obviously, chipping around the green is great, but having different shots in your bag, that is going to help you immensely. So for example, Chase has me set up for 75 yards here. I'm going to hit a stock 75-yard shot, or what I think stock 75-yard shot feels like. Lands a little short, rolls up. We're in that 2-foot gimme circle. Now that's just a stock wedge shot, but let's say you got a little bit of a backstop, it's a front pin. You don't want to leave it short because it's a false front. You don't want it to come off the green to you. Maybe you switch it up and you switch to a little spinnier shot. Just flight the ball down a little bit and boom. That went way too far. You do it again.
And that's what everybody else is doing right there.
Exactly, don't do that. I'm going to flight it, control the spin a little bit. I'm going to take it past, and then you have the spin. Easy enough. Add more shots to your arsenal. Not everything needs to be a flop shot. Not everything needs to be this little bump and run. You know, there's a different shot out there for everything. So you've seen a stock wedge. You've seen a knockdown spinner that I like to play a lot of times. And then you can hit these high ones on occasion. You know, a little higher, still come out spinning, not as much spin, but they don't roll out as much. You know, that one wasn't very good. That was subpar. But the key is, get used to practicing it because you want to hit more greens. The more time you have on the green, probably the lower the score you're going to make. So Chase, move me back to 115. So right now I have a 60 degree. Titleist Vokey, 60 degree. I don't know if you can see that, it's really dark in here, but the screen looks great. So 115 yards. So this is like where I would like max out a 60 degree. And I'm going to show you what happens when I do that. So you can see, no matter what I'm going to do, I am going to spin this because this is full speed. You know, I can try everything in my power, but this ball is inevitably going to always spin. You know, we can get really aggressive with it and create lots of spin. Like this. But, you know, this is short. It's going to spin a ton. You know, it's not the play. So know how far you hit your clubs. Focus. So instead of hitting a 60, what if we just punch down on a 52 a little bit? And the reason I'm using 52 now is because I still don't carry a 56. But a 52 degree, less effort. You know, my spin is under control. This is a little deep, but very minimal spin there. And I can just, it's repeatable that way because it's not a max effort full shot. That one was really deep. I hit a lot of drivers, like I'm telling you guys not to do, so I'm a little amped up right now. The cool part is, now that I got the 52 in my hand, the shot is now workable. So if I wanted to get up here and do a little tiny flip draw, this flip draw is now possible. Gonna land a little short, but it's a draw, so it's gonna release. And now, I can take it the other way. I can start it out there to the left and bring it back the other way. Cut shots, more spin, gonna stop quicker.
Yeah, Bryson is really good on the 60s and stuff like that. He doesn't full swing at 60s. Bryson Shambo, and everybody knows him. He doesn't full swing at 60 ever because, just like Cameron said, it's the same thing. When you full swing at 60, you're going to have an enormous amount of spin. As long as you're like a really good golfer. I mean, at my amateur level, I don't spin my 60 at all. I don't spin it at all.
Well, you do, but you
I'm
just...
spinning on the course, but when I hit the simulator, I'll get spin, so...
Yeah. Move me back to, let's say 180. Go 190. Where's my 8 iron? Okay. So, take your focus off of driver. Now we're going to work on the irons. Know how far you hit your irons. If you have a simulator or access to a simulator, that's a great starting point. Hit like 10 balls and take the average of those 10 balls to kind of get an average yardage for what you hit everything. The other thing is we're 190 yards and I haven't hit an iron yet today, so this will be fun. A little short. So 8 iron. We're trying to hit the greens. We're trying to tighten our spread. We don't want these wayward shots left, right, whatever it may be. We want to tighten the spread. More consistent results. And the only way to do that is to go work on it. Okay, so we're getting closer. A little better. This is an 8 iron from 190. We landed a little short. I have the greens turned up all the way to a 13 on the stem, so they're gonna roll out. Yeah, let's try to get a little bit closer. That one's not closer. Distance is better, but the towards is still off.
Pin high.
Yeah, pin high. But I know that this club, on average for me, is going to go 190. So let's crank it up to, let's go 6 iron, let's move it to 220.
By the way, guys, this is his stock yardages. Mine, my 8 iron is like 145.
So everyone's different, but the key is know how far you hit your clubs. So let's just diagnose things. Chase, what's your handicap?
20 right now.
A 20.
That's what I am on the set now.
Yeah. What would you say the best part of your game is?
Honestly, it's probably my 7-iron. I'm really good from like 180 in
Yeah.
sometimes.
And we
But-
find that the case for a lot of people because your 7-iron is the middle club in your bag,
Yeah.
typically.
I'm really comfortable from there. My driver's all over the place. I just got a new driver, so I'm still trying to figure it out.
Yeah.
So,
What is your weak point in your game?
my putting
Yeah,
and around the green.
yeah,
My around the green is terrible. I can't use a 60 to save my life,
yeah.
so I have to chip with a 54 most of the time, and I'm good with that within like 30 yards.
Yeah.
And he can tell you that.
So
I'm locked at 30 yards.
locked, which is good if you're 30 yards away. All right, so I'm just going to pull this up here. I'm going to pull up the gym handicap system. I'm going to pull myself up. I don't know if you guys are going to be able to see this. So I am a plus 1.9, scoring average of about 70. So I'm not flashy, but I'm steady typically. So 220 yards. This is where things get might be a little too far out there for most people with irons. We're kind of approaching the limits where we're in the hybrids now. But it's the same thing. We're not focusing on driver. We're trying to get to know our numbers and hone in our spread. Not too shabby. Directionally, right at the pin, a little long. I know my stock yardage for my 6-iron is 220. So why don't we go to tough. See, here's where it becomes a little problematic because I've been working on hitting the ball so far for so long. Now we're kind of getting into that club set. I don't know how far anything goes. Go to 60. Oh, that's cool. I didn't know you could do that on GS Pro.
It's a little pin up there, and you can just type it in.
Nice. All right, 260 yards. This is, I shouldn't show you this yet. Sneak peek. If you watch some of my previous videos, I did end up at new clubs. All right, so 4-iron, 260, maybe. Nah, that can't be right.
Blow the hole one.
Yeah, landed a little short. Probably. Let me try one more. A little too much draw.
What do you think your typical shot shape is?
You know, it depends on the day. I am typically a pretty straight hitter for the most part. But when I play golf, like if I'm working out on the range, I don't practice one shot. You know, like I'll just show you here. So 260 yards, I know 260 yards is cake when I try to hit my draw. I'm trying to play a sweeper in there. You know, that's about what it's going to look like. The cuts typically don't go as far. So, you know, for me, I wouldn't be hitting a 4-iron from 260 yards if I had to hit a cut into this green. But, you know, same thing. I can work it back the other direction. You know, I don't try to practice one thing because realistically, you're not always going to have a straight ball. There's trees off fairways which require you to work around them.
Mm-hmm.
Me having the gift of length, you know, I have to cut corners, I find, a lot of the time. So you can see here you want to hone everything in. And then finally, the biggest piece of advice I can give you all to become a better golfer and suck less. Have a positive mindset. What I find too often is 1 hole, 2 holes of a bad score or a bad break can be detrimental to the rest of the game. Have a positive outlook. Your subconscious is always looking, whether you know it or not. It's always looking. So if you have a negative mindset, your subconscious is looking for red flags. It's looking for things to aid in the demeanor you're currently wearing. And if it's negative, it's going to continue to be negative. Positive outlook, it's going to start trying to flag and find those positive things going on as well.
Another thing too is drinking on the course. Yeah, that's another. So
there's nothing wrong with
no, there's nothing wrong with it, but I would drink on the course a lot. Not a lot. I wouldn't drink a lot when I drive home, obviously, but I would have a few beers on the course, you know. And I saw my game like slowly just deteriorate. And now I've gone there and I've just not drank the whole time, and I play a lot better.
Yeah.
Because I'm in a positive mindset the whole time. I mean, that wasn't supposed to be in here, but.
You know, I'm not going to tell you what you should or should not do in that situation because everyone's a little bit different. At the end of the day, we just got to talking about positive mindset. We're out there to have fun. And last but not least, regarding our entire practice, remember, practice doesn't make perfect. Practice makes permanent. And I'm not saying that you're going to practice and hold on to a perfect game. That's not what I'm saying. It's not necessarily permanent in that manner. The permanent standpoint behind it all is you are going to create a habit. And it's a good habit. You know, they say 10,000 shots to break a bad habit. Well, if you're practicing with purpose, good habits are going to follow. You're naturally going to fall into a better pattern. So, what do you think, Chase?
I don't know. What do you mean?
What do you think? You got anything to add?
No, I really added everything I could though.
Yeah. Putting. Let's work on eliminating 3 putts. Let's spend some time on that green, maybe a little less time on the driving range. Second, short game. Practice many different shots. Try to add as many different shot shapes, chips, whatever it may be. You know, work on that little spinning wedge. You know, work on that flop shot. Do not make the flop shot a permanent thing. I hate seeing videos of people that are just like, oh, I got all this green to work with. Oh, let's just flop it. And it's just...
Yeah, flop shots are meant to tuck pins, especially if you're heading over a bunker and it's tucked pin into the bunker. You have no green to work with.
It's a very unique skill. If you're good at it, that's awesome. But not every single shot calls for the percentage of a flop shot.
Yeah.
Hone in your iron game. Let's get it a little bit tighter. Let's start hitting some greens. You know, there's an elite group of golfers out there, and there is no reason you guys can't be a part of it. So let's all get together. Let's work on this, and let's just improve our games. Let's have fun. Thanks, guys.